It's ironic. When I left home, I vowed to leave the dark arts behind, and yet here I am. Stand back. You might not want the ability to speak past the tongue. It's often associated with dark wizards. I'm a parcel mouth. I can hear and speak to snakes. Nearly all known parcel mouths are descended from Salazar Slytherin. It started when you repaired that relief. I hear a whisper saying, "Speak to me." I haven't spoken it in ages, but I'd wager if I speak it now, the door will open. I'm hoping you're having second thoughts. Headmaster, here, what could he want? Professor Black. How are you, sir? I hope we're ready for this. Well, you'd be using it on clothing, to be precise, Sebastian. You know it won't work on humans. That's why I said this could be dangerous. Aunt Noctua kept my father informed until she vanished. Are you all right? Can't imagine how the other professors must be feeling after losing Professor Fig. Sebastian, please, leave the relic alone. We can find another way to help Anne. You gave me no choice. I had to follow you. No, you're not. If you won't put it back, then I will. Poor Aunt Noctua. Don't get too cocky simply because you had one victory over Sallow. He never backs down from a fight. I can't agree. And I'll not say a word more. I'm sorry. Anything to do with the dark art should be avoided. It's too risky. Imelda's quick. And not just on a broom. Glad you two have become friends. Try lighting the braziers more quickly, one after the other. Sebastian must not be in his right mind. Are you all right? Someone was actually listening. I heard you were quite the spectacle at Summoner's Court. You have some prowess. Perhaps all 3 braziers need to be lit at the same time. Aunt Noctua said the same. It may take practice to solve it. Then Salazar Slytherin is not yet finished with us. This is where she died. This is where we'll die. I shouldn't have listened to either of you. Although Anne wanted to turn him in, I think now she's torn. I confess I know how she feels. As much as we all wanted Sebastian to face the consequences of his actions. At first he wouldn't believe it. Then he realized it all made sense. Unfortunately, his anger only grew towards goblins and dark wizards. She does. Sebastian was my best friend. I can't imagine Hogwarts or anywhere without him. It will never be the same without him. Just standing here in the Undercroft without Sebastian feels wrong. I know you two had grown close, that you were helping each other with more than just finding a cure for Anne. He never gave specifics, but I know it was important. I hope so too. I know we had a bit of a rocky start, but you've proven yourself. As a friend, he's been expelled, and will soon face trial at the Ministry. He means a lot to us both. I hope we get the chance to tell him that one day. We did. I just wish things had turned out differently. I was. Black let me talk to Sebastian before he left. Anne was shocked too, but in some sense relieved to know the truth about who was responsible. I think it brought her some peace. That insufferable mouthpiece. About time Ferdinand's portrait is gone from the 3 broomsticks. Can't believe this. Hello, Sebastian. Wait. We are all in your debt for stopping Ranrock and his loyalists. Thank you. I know. She was my aunt. The spell won't work unless you mean it. That's true of all unforgivables. If it must be done, then one of you must cast it. Yes, it is! I thought you knew me better! I can't believe I'm doing this. Revelio may help. This whole place is troubling, but for my aunt's sake, we cannot stop now. Wait, Anne, please! You and Everett seem thick as thieves. There weren't this many in theory before! Whatever lies ahead, we must face it together. That I know. You sound surprised. We're in a maze designed by Salazar Slytherin. I'm pleased the bells are ringing again. As Anne and I frantically barricaded the Inferi to keep them from escaping, Sebastian kept mumbling about healing Anne. When she first saw the Inferi, she thought Sebastian was being attacked. But then he showed her the relic and said he'd learned how to use it. I need to get to Hogwarts. I must get to Professor Black first. Twist the story a bit, make him think it's a family fight. I'll be back as soon as I can. See if you can talk some sense into Sebastian. When Anne said she couldn't stay here, I didn't realize what she meant. Not exactly. He's controlling them. This is powerful dark magic, Creating in theory is incredibly difficult, but controlling them... I was so worried about Sebastian I didn't even realise. Anne's gone to get Solomon. My Wiggenweld potion's utter rubbish. Wish I could just replace it with one from J. Pippin's. There's bound to be a match to the symbols between the two of us. That is cause for concern. Do you know what you're doing? The dark arts is not something to trifle with. None of that is tolerated around here. Careful. If you spend too much time with our meat, you'll start to like studying. Never imagined we'd attend a funeral for one of our professors. I only wish we could have done the same for Solomon Sallow. I need to go and see Anne soon. So he cursed her. Oh, so cruel. Rookwood got what he deserved. Glad Weasley spoke for Fig. She honoured him. He'll be well remembered. Thank you for telling me. Anne and Sebastian deserve to know, and it should come from me. As we discussed, I spoke with Black. Sebastian's with the headmaster now, but perhaps there's a way to get word to him. When I find out, I'll send an owl. I heard a rumour that he confronted you outside of Ollivander's. Sounds as if you faced quite a fight. This can't be. The night Anne was cursed, all she saw were goblins. Wait, what are you saying? Best news I've heard all day. Please, Sebastian. I meant what I said before. We swear, right now, never to engage in anything to do with dark magic again. Thank you for coming. Yes, but I've never heard of a mermaid showing up outside our common room window. Not something I'm especially proud of, mind you. He was obsessed with blood status. A pure-blood maniac. Well, it's good to have you in Slytherin. Do let me know if I can be of any help as you navigate your first days here. Aha! You're definitely in the right house. I'm sure. How horrible. I can only imagine. Pleasure was all mine. Don't be a stranger. It is fun to play along, though. Been known to keep some first years on the lookout for hours. Unfortunately, most of his descendants do not fall far from that tree. Ah. Based on all the chatter when you entered the common room, I'm guessing you're the new 5th year. I'm Ominis. Ominis Gaunt. Well, you certainly had a memorable arrival. Do let me know if I can be of any help as you navigate your first days here, though I doubt you'll need it. Most certainly. My family on my father's side are direct descendants of Salazar Slytherin, one of the 4 founders of Hogwarts. Poor Sebastian. Honestly, can't believe you won all 3 trials against Imelda. I didn't think she could be beat. I suppose after all this I am grateful to know what happened to her. Thank you. Hold on a moment. Sebastian, not now. We need to get to that scriptorium. Aunt Noctua described this place as a maze. Any detail might help to solve our way through. I hope Sebastian pursues this no further, but if you think he might, please let me know. That's why I can't understand Sebastian's recklessness. I've practically lost Anne. I can't lose Sebastian too. Sebastian doesn't even realise it, but he's as irresponsible and reckless now as his parents were years ago. It's why they died. Everything to do with Salazar Slytherin seems promising until it's too late. Their parents had crumpled to the floor. A defect with the lamp in the cellar caused the room to fill with an undetectable toxin. It is. That's why I can't understand Sebastian's recklessness. I've practically lost Anne. I cannot lose Sebastian too. Sebastian and Anne were helpless. They had no magic yet. Anne and Sebastian were upstairs when it happened. They heard a sudden crash and ran downstairs, but it was too late. I appreciate you telling Sebastian not to keep this from me, but going after that relic is not a good idea. Please avoid anything to do with that spellbook. I'm glad you understand. I know what I heard. You knew I wouldn't agree with this. Going after that relic is not a good idea. Mr. and Mrs. Sallow were professors. Spent nearly every waking moment in the cellar library. Noses buried in books. I am not letting this go. Heard you're defending Hogsmeade against trolls. You know, there is such a thing as trying too hard. Something is very wrong with Professor Black. Dittany and Boobertuber pass. Moustache paste. Certainly spending a lot of time with Sebastian, aren't you? Just don't get carried away. What's that smell? Is she growing Punger's onion again? Painful. That's the part I'm wary of. Lucan Brattleby must have nearly wet himself when you won every single crossed once battle. Like a maze. Salazar Slytherin most likely wanted this to be difficult to solve. He told you about that. Of course not. I only know about it because of my favourite aunt, Noctua. She thought like I do. Didn't agree with the family on the use of dark magic. What is it? What have you and Sebastian been up to now? I see what you've done here, and I confess, you've convinced me. I didn't think it possible. In fact, she'd hoped to convince my family that there was more to Salazar Slytherin than worshipping pureblood status. She wrote regularly to my father about her efforts to gain access, and then she simply vanished. No one else ever tried to enter. Very well. I shall tell you what I know. Fetch Sebastian, I'll wait. I suppose that makes sense. It's just Sebastian's been pestering me lately about something and I'm frustrated with him. Yes, well, he seems to think it contains the answer to saving Anne. I think it's likely full of dark magic that is better left untouched. Aunt Noctua went down this path with good intentions and lost her life. I don't want the same to happen again. She'd heard of this scriptorium and thought its contents might shed some light on him. She even found the secret entrance in this very corridor. Farewell for now. I shall be in touch. We've both heard that before. Before I had time to talk to Black, I heard from Anne. I rushed to Feldcroft and found her with Solomon's body. We'd only be punishing Anne as well. I hope we're doing the right thing. Very well. Leave it to me. I'll tell the headmaster. I'll talk to Anne. If it comes from me, she'll agree with this decision. I understand what you're saying. Perhaps you're right. As much as I believe that Sebastian should pay for his actions. What a mess. I can't believe it. After I last saw you, I went straight to Hogwarts. I don't want to lose Sebastian, but I don't think we have a choice. She was beside herself with grief. Part of her wants Sebastian to face the consequences, another part can't bear the thought of it. I wish I hadn't been. If we do this, we may never see Sebastian again. Be careful. Careful. Watch where you're going there. You again? It's 2 heads are better than 1. Opening the entrance has something to do with 3s. I was hoping we'd get a moment to speak. Merlin's? I hope not. That must be the voice I hear. Anne's worried. She said Sebastian promised her that I would be there if she went to meet him in the catacomb. But now he's asking her to join him immediately and to come alone. She says he doesn't sound himself. Meet us at the catacomb as soon as you can. I hope that my quill has conveyed my message clearly. I have news about Sebastian. Meet me in the Undercroft as soon as you can. You don't know when to stop, do you? I'll decide what's for my own good. You're a liar, Sebastian. I heard everything. You swore you'd never engage in anything to do with dark magic again. I can't believe we found ourselves trapped in that scriptorium. Never again. We're about to face worse. Let's find Sebastian quickly. Where did you and Natty disappear to? Cressida's been trying to track her down. I hope we don't regret this. Search each corridor. It may not be obvious which leads where. I can't believe we're here. I'm glad you came to Hogwarts. Is time a factor? Try lighting all 3 braziers with Confringo before any have gone out. What are you doing here? You two go ahead. Let me know what's in it. I'll wander around a bit. Pleased Poppy found a friend in you. She won't let you down. I think I shall delay my next trip to Hogsmeade. What with mad trolls on the loose and all? Perhaps not all dials are the same. There may be a different set of symbols for each. All of this could have been avoided. Look in a mirror, Sebastian. Seems Slytherin like to play games. Unforgivable curses won't work unless you really mean them. I had to want to cause pain, and for that I shall never forgive myself. I was taught the Cruciatus Curse as a child. My family's tradition involved torturing muggles. That spells the reason I have no family left. You and Sebastian will need to sort out another solution. When you witness suffering like that at your own hands, you never forget it. I'm as guilty as the worst of my family. When I refused, I tasted the agony of the curse myself. Eventually, I did what my family asked. I overheard you and Sebastian, and I won't do it. The Cruciatus Curse is pure torture, I would know. Salazar Slytherin did. He's to blame for many unimaginable things. Should have known he would have told you. And one always has a choice. Ferdinand's portrait ended up in the Hog's Head. Ugh, they'll likely adore the little toadstool over there. The voice is ancient, sinister. It's a wonder Professor Fig has time to teach a class at all.
He never seems to be in the castle.
Everything. I heard you encourage Sebastian to take the relic. This is insanity. I can't believe you would ask this of me. Remember, this is what I was telling you about the dark arts. They come with a cost. You may well regret making this choice. Go then. Leave with the relic. I'll not say a word more. Fine. If I trust him on this, I'm trusting you too. The dark arts seem harmless until it's too late. We need to stand together. Convince Sebastian this is wrong. Something has to. I need your help. Remember, this is what I was telling you about the dark arts. They come with a cost. You may well regret making this choice. Good. We're agreed. We don't allow him to leave here with the relic. This is insanity. I can't believe you would ask this of me. I'm sorry. My mind is made up. Fine. This is unfathomable. But I suppose if you want that responsibility, it may just save what is left of my friendship with Sebastian. What are you suggesting? What in the world are you suggesting? Imperio. Do what you have to do. Cast it. Before I change my mind. Fine. This is unfathomable. But I suppose if you want that responsibility, it may just save what is left of my friendship with Sebastian. I will. I might be. How could I choose to stand by and watch him do this? I feel that's what we agreed to in the scriptorium. I'm being taken for a fool. Everything. I was glad to hear you tell Sebastian to leave the relic. Sebastian makes things sound easy when they could be impossible, or dangerous. We need to stop him. That sounded promising. Impressive. Nice work. Sebastian is going to get an earful about this. Sebastian. Anne can't bear the thought of turning you in, but I'll give you some time to think, Sebastian. She's devastated. She just buried your uncle alone. I can't believe it was Rookwood all along. Doubt mermaids find us that interesting. It would mean a lot. We were lucky. We could have died. We must swear never to do this again. No comment. These braziers grant access to the scriptorium. It wasn't you who told me what I needed to hear. I hope I don't regret this.
Breaking in, are we? What is it that you're up to? You're quite the covert little thief, aren't you? Well done.
She did. And she was my favourite person in the world for it. Then look closely at each gate for clues. I recognise that voice. Heard you talking to Gareth Weasley in potions class. You're the new 5th year. That rat! I've recognised that voice. You're the new 5th year. You breathe a word about this place to anyone, and not even your precious Professor Fig will be able to help you. I don't need you to tell me about my oldest friend. Thank you very much. Did you just come from the Undercroft? How did you get in there? Why should I trust you? You just betrayed Sebastian. Don't lie to me. No one stumbles upon that room. Sebastian told you, didn't he? I know what you meant. Sebastian gets himself in enough trouble. He doesn't need your help. My father is friends with the headmaster, and I'm not afraid to exploit that connection if I need to. You there. I can hear you. You breathe a word about this place to anyone, and not even your precious Professor Fig will be able to help you. My father is friends with the headmaster. I am not afraid to exploit that connection if I need to. I should think Professor Garlick would be more careful with her mandrakes. Go and see Sebastian. Before I change my mind. What are you playing at? Be careful, won't you? No one around here is going to stand for that. What are you trying to do? I imagine the speeds vary and symbols differ for every dial. I've been getting an uneasy feeling about this place. We shouldn't linger here. Let's find a way out, please. Heard you and Sebastian traversed a mountain in Loyalist territory. You know, that sort of thing could have got you both killed. Just ahead. In the great room. Taking out your frustrations, are you? Have you broken something? Not sure you need to be quite so destructive. Seems Ranrock's threat was even greater than the most pessimistic of us expected. If you cast Crucio, you will regret it forever. Can't believe Ferdinand's portrait's back in the 3 broomsticks. Thought we were rid of him for good. I'm glad you're here. For the moment. I thought we'd gone too far before, but Sebastian is in real trouble now. The place is crawling with Inferi. Stop. You did what you had to do, and I agreed. It might well have salvaged my friendship with Sebastian for the moment. I should have stopped him before. Sebastian's in real trouble now. Stop. You swore you wouldn't let Sebastian take this one step further. Yet here we are, inside the catacomb. Frankly, I was surprised you weren't with him. I'm going back into the catacomb to find him. Anne's right. He and the entire hamlet are in danger. Our focus now needs to be Sebastian. He's in trouble. You'll see. We need to hurry. I beg your pardon, sir. I'm simply on my way outside. I have to write 20 inches on Dittany and its uses. Was heading to the greenhouse. Are you feeling all right, sir? You don't seem yourself. That didn't sound good.